Hi, my name is Joseph Machaccio. I have had the opportunity to create the creativity and problem-solving slides. I have done the definitions, the basics of definitions, the relevance to engineering field, and some more. I'm also partnered with Maxim, who is also going to be taking over halfway through. And let's get started. So what is creativity? Well, basic definition, creativity is the use of imagination, original ideas, turn them into reality. What does this mean? Well, we basically take the word creativity and we just say that it's an imagination. But it's more than just an imagination, because it's your ability to perceive the world in new ways and to find hidden patterns, make connections between unrelated occurrences, and come up with these creative solutions. That is what makes what makes creativity. A creative person is one who can be characterized by these abilities that I just mentioned. Being able to make connections between unrelated occurrences is a big one, because most people won't find these connections, because if something's unrelated to another thing, they're not going to really see what kind of connection they can make, right? But a creative person will be able to find that bridge. Being able to perceive the world in new ways, that is definitely a really big one, because someone who's not very creative will just constantly think of the world as a mundane, basic, thing over and over and over again. But if you're creative, there's always new things that you're finding, especially finding hidden patterns. This is definitely one that makes sense, because, like I said, people that aren't creative will not find these hidden patterns, and this can kind of go with solutions of problem solving, because if you think about it, being able to find a hidden pattern could be a creative solution, right, to a maze or whatever that may be. And obviously that's the next thing. Being able to come up with solutions is sorry. Being able to come up with creative solutions is a big thing in problem solving nowadays. Two processes that lead to creativity. So, thinking and producing. You think about something, you think about an idea, a theory, a joke, or something like that, and then you produce it. So, being able to actually show of what you're imagining and what you're thinking about, and put it into reality, is what I think, and what most people think, that makes the creativity process. So here I found a quote from Maria Popova, and it says, "Creativity is a combinational force. It's our ability to tap into our inner pool of resources, knowledge, insight, information, inspiration, all the fragments happening in our minds that we've accumulated over the years, just by being present and alive and awake to the world, and to combine them in extraordinary new ways." So what this is basically saying is thinking, pulling all that knowledge from your own experience, from your own information, from your own mind, and combining them in extraordinary new ways, like we mentioned before, making connections between things. You could have a fragment of information here and here in your brain, and being able to combine them into something new and original is what makes someone creative. Creativity produces creative items, like I said before. You have ideas, theories, and jokes like non-physical, and physical examples like an invention, a computer, book, painting, etc. Especially a painting, because that's what most people think of when they think of creative person. So, what is the significance of creativity? Well, I would first say that creativity is very intertwined with problem solving, because it allows people to identify and solve problems with innovative ideas and outside the box thinking. Because someone that is creative is most likely going to come up with a creative solution, right? And being able to problem solve with a creative mindset, and being able to think outside the box and find hidden patterns, make connections between unrelated occurrences, is something that I think is very significant, especially in our engineering field. A society without creative individuals is one that lacks imagination, innovation, and creativity, especially in one like we live in today. Being able to see people are always seeing the bigger picture in things. Being creative helps motivate them, allows for self-expression, brings people together, and much more. So especially in this world that's very innovative, being a creative person allows for a more creative society and a more innovative, updated society, which is constantly changing, especially like the one we live in today. So just to wrap it up here, all of these aspects of creativity leads to a more expressive, open, and innovative world that will continue to bring brilliance. So that's why creativity, that's what creativity is, and that's why it's pretty important. So we'll go to the next one here. What is problem solving? Well, basic definition of problem solving is the process of coming up with solutions to solve a problem. But it's more than just solving a problem. When you're problem solving, there's a process to it, and this is what makes problem solving more beneficial. And a person that has this type of process is truly a good problem solver. So first, this is a very 4-step basic one. First, we define the problem. Defining the problem is always the first step, especially in problem solving. Determine the cause of the problem is the next step. Identify, prioritize, and select solutions. Especially, you're going to try and find a cost-efficient solution in an engineering field, and also a creative one that definitely is new and innovative. And implementing the solution. So implementing it, getting it out there, getting communicative feedback on it, and this just keeps going around in a circle. This is the process of problem solving. The significance of problem solving is both important to individuals and organizations because it allows control over an environment. What do I mean by this? Well, an individual has control when they're problem solving. They have control of defining the problem, control of determining the cause of the problem. They have the control in identifying solutions and selecting the solutions, and the control in implementing the solutions. And they have all this control in their own environment, so that the problems that they come up with and the solutions they come up with for their environment obviously will change the environment, right? So continuing further, problem solving is more than just being able to figure out an issue. As we've mentioned, it is a lot more than just solving a problem. There's a whole process to it, and everyone is different. It's a mindset that follows a specific process tailored to an individual. Everyone's different. Everyone solves problems differently, but as long as it follows a good process and goes down the list and checks everything off, then it is good. Rather than following the herd, an individual can proactively shape their environment and impact those around them by being able to solve complex problems. So this is kind of like creativity. Creative people can impact those around them, especially with creative solutions to complex problems. And obviously, problem solving is no different. They go hand in hand. Developing these skills can help change one's mindset and drive them to be the best they can be while being beneficial for everyone. Similar to creativity, like I said, they go hand in hand. And being a good problem solver can help benefit everyone, not just themselves. Because if you can solve a problem that is very widespread and can help a lot of people, then you are benefiting everyone. Relevance to engineering, design, and practice when it comes to creativity and problem solving is that they go hand in hand when it comes to engineering. In order for engineers to successfully solve problems, they must be creative. An individual who's creative and has an inventive mindset allows for new and original products to be developed and or current ones to be updated in a new fashion. So especially in relevance to engineering, design, and practice, new and original products are always craved and always are being pushed out there nowadays. And obviously current applications, current buildings, whatever the case may be, anything that has been created can be updated, and especially in a new way, in a new fashion, just how our world is constantly changing, so are the new fashions and new ideas, new inventions. They can be updated as well. Creativity and problem-solving relevance to engineering, design, and practice leads to constantly changing society in which engineers must constantly and continuously innovate to bring economic and social success. So, like I mentioned before, this is very true when it comes to our time nowadays, especially in this ever-changing world where people are always looking for the newest car, phone. Engineers must be ready for that innovation and be able to deliver creative solutions. So, problem solving is one of the most important skills an engineer can have. A majority of engineering is finding solutions to all kinds of problems. So a big one in this, I found a really good example from an interviewer at Google for a software engineering position, and his name is Anthony D. Mays, and he made an article, Why Problem Solving is the Most Important Skill. He goes on to explain that he's trained to assess individuals' talent and that their problem solving skills are the most important. And he has a quote here that says, an individual's ability to look at a problem, break it down into component parts, to find an optimal solution, brainstorm ways to achieve that optimal solution, and then pick the best approach is what Google screens for. And if the process is done in a rigorous, clear, and understandable manner, then he will know that they can do the job. So obviously, being a great problem solver and being very creative is very sought after in the engineering design and practice engineering field, and especially when it comes to engineering design and practice, because especially at a company like Google, they know if someone has a great process to how they do things and especially solve problems, then they'll know that they can do it on the job. Um, so if we continue here, an engineer who's both creative and has developed a good process of problem solving will not only benefit themselves or from an organization they may work for, but they'll also continue to innovate society. This is something I've been constantly saying because creativity and problem solving is so important for our generation and will constantly be changing for future generations. So here's just a model I put on here of the engineering design practice. So identifying the need of the problem, research the need of the problem, develop possible solutions, select the possible solutions, construct a prototype, test and evaluate the solutions, communicate the solutions, redesign, and continue forth. This I put in here because it basically shows you that it's a lot of problem solving. In the engineering design model, it's a lot of problem solving and a lot of going back and forth with other people, a lot of testing, and being able to come up with these problems and follow this process is something that creative people, especially, are really good at doing because they know what will work, and the really good problem solvers are going to find those creative solutions. So, issues encountered in engineering profession when it comes to creativity and problem solving. So, I'm going to build off of the last example from the Google interviewer, because recruiters and employers in the engineering profession always look for individuals who have great problem-solving skills and creativity. So let's go from here. Another quote that he says inside the article is he would rather hire someone who can demonstrate a disciplined problem-solving approach and doesn't know anything about a red-black tree than someone who does, or someone who knows what it is and uses it to solve the problem because they didn't think to ask the right questions in the first place. This can lead to many issues for individuals when it comes to finding a profession in engineering if these skills are lacking. Of course, engineering companies, especially like Google, Amazon, Netflix, they are looking for these top individuals who will have these great problem-solving skills. Even if they don't know exactly everything, they're going to look for this process, if it's down or not, and if they're creative. They don't really care as much if you know how to spit out information that you had to memorize over and over and over again. And obviously, what I just said is a great example. And let's continue forth.
What are the ethical issues related to creativity and problem solving? Well, replacing service jobs and manufacturing jobs is a big concern that I personally have. Jobs in the American workforce being replaced through creative solutions such as automating manufacturing, GPT-3, or automated service kiosks. Another concern is safety. A lot of creative solutions have innovative technologies that are untested, and when they're first applied in the field, they can cause a lot of accidents. For one example is mechanized industry. When we first started the Industrial Revolution, we had so many accidents and fatalities due to lack of safety at the workplace. Moreover, personal security issues such as companies collecting, selling consumer information, allowing access to private information through backdoors for government companies, or sorry, government organizations, and monitoring users through GPS cameras without disclosure. I don't enjoy having my phone record me or anything because I feel like my personal information is being stolen from me. Moreover, here are some more examples, or more in-depth examples of what I mentioned earlier. So, use of automation in the job industry. Most Americans worry about their occupation being replaced by their occupations being replaced by automation. And it's obvious by new tools created by GPT-3 that it's not limited to manufacturers. White-collar jobs can be replaced too. GPT-3 is a neural network that is trained to produce human-like text. So it can start replacing programmers, journalists, etc. It's not just the manufacturers of products, right? Another good example is safety concerns, right? With ethical issues. Is as we create new solutions to problems in the past, we need to regulate these new technologies through organizations like OSHA. Otherwise, there will be accidents like the 2005 Texas City, Texas British Petroleum oil refinery, where 50 people died due to lax safety concerns, or the famous Mexican Gulf oil spill in 2010. a lack of precautions for these new innovative solutions like freight transport over water, right, for oil in this example, can cause huge ecological disasters, which was the Mexican Gulf oil spill. Now, we covered the ethical issues. What are the challenges and opportunities in creativity and problem solving with engineering? Well, we've discussed ethically that we need to be concerned with the replacement of human workforce, safety innovative fields, and personal risks, personal security risks. Right? If we can circumvent these challenges, we can revolutionize how American produces products, services patrons, and how we can basically obtain a large sample size of ethically sound data from users instead of non-disclosing that we're going to be selling your data essentially. It'd be a lot more ethical that we can show the users, hey, we're using your data to train these life-saving algorithms, or it's really going to be helping people rather than, just looking as our users another content farm for us. Another challenge is culturally. Many people are against innovative solutions like AI, and it's obvious why, right? Or the usage of genetic engineering in agriculture because they lack the understanding of the field that is used to create the technology. The advantage of technology like AI without social stigma is innovation. We can have better solutions that will be researched at a faster rate and implementation of life-saving technologies like genetic engineering in agriculture can save more starving and destitute people as well. Or else we envision a more innovative solution through new technologies, right, like deep learning. We are limited by our computing power, data availability, and data collection methods, right? So technology is another big limitation, and it's a big challenge that we face. Although, if we can prevail over this, we'll be able to further implement smarter solutions in the labor force and automate tasks such as driving, right? If we were able to effectively label a lot of training data for self-driving cars, we can have safer driving overall for everyone. All right, what are some resources that if you want to look into this yourself, you can find out, the effects of all these creative solutions I mentioned earlier. For one, AI. Um, this link that's going to be at the resource at the end will tell you more about the couple things I just mentioned. This article explains general mentions of AI in customer service, citizen monitoring, and privatization of data associated with AI, such as training data and validation data, and the commercial use of AI in more detail. Another one is the effect of kiosks and service industry. As I mentioned, a lot of people are afraid of these creative, innovative solutions because they can steal our jobs, quote unquote, right? But this article explains how service kiosks, which are a creative solution, are are an effective service worker in cafes, cafeterias, and the affected businesses have a better effectiveness over traditional human labor, right? Not only I've read this article myself, so I know what it's talking about. But yes, lower skilled labor is being replaced. But because of the introduction of these new machines, now we need maintenance workers for these new technologies, and they pay more than minimum wage, which would be your typical service worker. Another couple of examples is, remember the agricultural and using GMOs I mentioned earlier. Here we go. This same link will be in the resources, but general use, current applications, and possible future applications of GMO, right? If anyone's interested in a more detailed look of GMOs, genetically modified organisms, this article goes over current applications such as herbicide tolerance in soybean, insect resistance for corn, altered fatty acids composition in canola oil, virus resistance for plums, vitamin enrichment in rice, vaccines through grain for farm animals, faster maturation in salmon. Additionally, there's discussions on ethical issues, economic challenges, and safety regulations, right? One major economic challenge that GMOs presented that you wouldn't think before is, okay, people patent GMOs, right? So for example, if a farmer had a genetically modified organism that he was patented to use, right, or he had a rent a patent to use, and these crops were cross-pollinating another field, and now they exist in someone else's land, that company now has legal grounds to steal that land from that person, or there's a lot more legal action and problems that ensue because of this. Right. Another thing is safety regulations. People are now worried about, well, what's the possibility of this genetically modified organism doing harm to us. It's a very good topic to look into, and I recommend clicking on this link for later on. Moreover, I talked about manufacturing in America. This article in Bloomberg explains perfectly how manufacturing in America doesn't have to be just human labor, right? If you're concerned with manufacturing in America being automated by large-scale operations that require few to no labor force, I recommend this article. Arnold Kamler, who owns a family-owned business, talks about his problems of import taxes on foreign manufacturing, and instead of just taxing foreign importations, he recommends supporting the automation of American factories, which will create new jobs for machine maintenance that pay more than minimum wage and help America move its industry back to national companies as well. Right. And now that you've got a really brief understanding of what are some ethical issues, challenges that we face, and opportunities with creativity and innovative solutions to our engineering problems, here are some questions I think you should ask yourself, to reflect on this. How has some of the innovative solutions, like automated service and manufacturing jobs, AI used in computer vision / data classification, and the commercial monitoring through user data collection affected you? Right? Do you think automated solutions like AI that replace the workforce is a good use of the technology? Do you think that AI replacing the workforce is going to create such a upheaval of lack of low skilled labor that it's a stark negative? Is advancing technology creating innovative solutions that replace the workforce? Are you in support of that? When in theoretical, if advancing technology replaced the workforce and now there's a lack of low skilled labor and it stays that way, are you in support of a UBI, universal basic income, or do you think the new jobs created from this new innovation will support the labor force, as in the new machine maintenance jobs that are created? And what kind of work safety violations can occur because of this advancement in technologies? Are we going to see more ethical issues because of because of the involvement of, bigger data solutions? And in what ways can you apply your skill set in modern engineering problems in relation to some of the examples I've given you?
Hello, we'll now cover cryptocurrencies. This is Group 9, and I'm John Carlos, and I am presenting this with Layla and Mo. As you can see on the right side of this slide, there is several of the common cryptocurrencies that are available today, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and more. You can find out about these cryptocurrencies online. Each one has their own purpose. What are cryptocurrencies? Digital assets in the form of coins or tokens. Coins are a method of payment similar to fiat currencies like the American dollar. These fiat currencies are backed by the full faith and trust of the government, just like coins are backed by the full faith and trust of the users. Tokens, on the other hand, act like shares, which give token owners certain rights or benefits. For example, the Binance token gives Binance token owners a 25% discount on trading fees when trading on the Binance platform. Why are cryptocurrencies important? Cryptocurrencies are decentralized and eliminate the need for a third party. It allows for quicker transactions and no restrictions, and usually less fees for international transactions. You have greater control of your money, but with greater control comes greater responsibility, since you could lose all your money if you misplace your wallet. Unlike keeping your money in the bank, where it is insured by the government if something were to happen to it, you have far greater risk. Cryptocurrencies serve as the backbone of Internet of Things, smart contracts, new businesses, and financial technologies thanks to the introduction of the blockchain. How do cryptocurrencies work? Well, they rely on blockchain technology, which tracks all transactions. Initiated transactions are transmitted to a peer-to-peer network. The peer-to-peer network confirms the validity of the block. The block gets added to a chain of pre-existing blocks. Then this information becomes unchangeable. The transaction is then verified and the rightful person receives their payment. What gives cryptocurrencies value? Well, first, scarcity. Some coins are capped at a certain rate, or they either burn their total supply, reducing the amount of coins available. This is similar to like precious metals like gold and silver, which are highly valuable due to their rarity. Another important factor is divisibility. How easy is it for you to pay with this cryptocurrency? Some of these cryptocurrencies can have a large dollar amount just for one coin, but thanks to being able to divide it into small fractions, it is easy for you to pay, just like when you use the American dollar and you want to pay in cents. Does the cryptocurrency have utility? Are people accepting it more and more? As it gets added to more and more places where you can pay with it, it is bound to get more valuable since it has more usability. Transportability. How easy is it for you to transfer the money from one place to another? Cryptocurrency makes it easy for you to transfer money anywhere you want in the world, as long as you have internet. How durable is cryptocurrency? Well, as long as you don't lose your private keys or your wallet, you can keep your cryptocurrency for a lifetime, unlike paper money, which can be easily torn or burned or damaged. Counterfeitability. It is very hard to counterfeit cryptocurrencies due to the nature of the blockchain, so it is highly valuable. Another key factor that drives up prices is speculation. Inflation and deflation in cryptocurrencies. Some coins are inflationary, like Dogecoin. It adds 5 billion Dogecoins to its total supply each year. Ethereum used to add 5 Ethereum for every block that was mined. Now it adds 1% of the Ethereum stake. This transition was made due to energy efficiency, and this is the main component of the development of Ethereum 2.0. Fixed supply coins are deflationary. Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins, Litecoin is capped at 84 million coins. On the other hand, there is a decreasing supply coins which are used to fight inflation. Ripple, for example, burns a portion of its total supply every time a transaction is made. These coins usually start off with a very large supply, and then it goes smaller and smaller. How to obtain cryptocurrencies? Well, you can either buy through an exchange, you can mine them, you can stake them, you can lend your current cryptocurrencies and get them back in the form of interest. Airdrops, which is a form of participating in new cryptocurrencies that will come out, and you do certain tasks and they'll award you that new cryptocurrency. This is to get new users onto the network. If you're a business owner, you can accept crypto payments. What is proof of work? Well, computers solve mathematical equations, which are used to validate a block in the blockchain. The miners receive a reward for validating the blocks plus a miner fee. The block reward rates are usually decreased over time as a method of deflation. Every 4 years, the amount that you would obtain from mining Bitcoin is halved. This is done as a method of deflation. Once all the coins have been mined, the miner will only get miner fees. On the bottom, we can see some graphic cards which are used to do these equations to validate a block. What is proof of work? Proof of work, on the other hand, is more energy efficient because it does its validation based on the amount of cryptocurrency a person owns and how long they've had it. The people who participate in this receive transaction fees as their form of payment. Lower risk of a miner attack occurs because it is harder to buy out 51% of the total supply than to add more mining equipment and take over 51% of the network. This will be covered in greater detail in a later slide. This is better for people who have smaller budgets since everyone gets a chance to validate a block, but larger holders have higher probabilities of being chosen. Where to store cryptocurrencies? You can either store them in hot wallets or cold wallets. Hot wallets are beginner friendly, offer multiple layers of security, easy for daily use, have several backup options, little to no additional cost, and quicker access to funds. However, there are some drawbacks like being vulnerable to hacking, private keys could be hidden so you don't have full control of your money, and these run on centralized servers. Cold wallets are a safer option because they're very secure and offer you full ownership of your cryptocurrency. These are usually used for long-term holds. Cons are, they're not beginner friendly, could be expensive since you have to buy a device. It is a hassle to access the funds, and it can be easily misplaced or destroyed. Types of hot wallets. There is the cloud wallet, which is usually what is used on exchange, the desktop wallet where you download a piece of software and you keep your keys on your hard drive, or a mobile wallet where you keep your keys and cryptocurrency in your phone. These are some cold wallets. There's paper wallets and hardware wallets. Paper wallets are a lot less secure since they can be damaged easily or misplaced. Hard wallets are usually a better option and are worth the investment if you are investing a lot of cryptocurrency. Engineers and cryptocurrencies. Engineers can help out in the cryptocurrency space by conducting website development for new cryptocurrency startups, improving hardware for better energy efficiency and mining rates, offering blockchain security, offering better application security for these exchanges, implementing cloud-based solutions, conducting UX and UI design for these exchanges, implementing blockchain technology into other fields. This is not only constrained into cryptocurrencies, it is also being applied into Internet of Things, smart contracts, businesses, and financial technology.
What is blockchain? For people who have an interest in cryptocurrency, they probably have heard of the term blockchain. It is the record-keeping technology behind the Bitcoin network. Blockchain seems to be complicated, but its concept is pretty simple. Blockchain is a type of database which is a collection of info that's stored electronically on a computer system. The blockchain collects data together in groups known as a block. Blocks have certain storage capacities. Once reached, they are chained onto the previously filled block, forming a chain of data known as blockchain. The most common info stored on a blockchain are cryptocurrency transaction history. Other things like legal contracts or product inventories can be stored too. In Bitcoin's case, blockchain is used in a decentralized way. However, private, centralized blockchain, where computers that make up its network are owned by a single entity, do exist. So what are the advantages of blockchain? First, we have process integrity. Blockchain was made in such a way that any block or even a transaction cannot be edited, which provide high security. Then we have traceability. Blockchain is designed in a way that it can easily locate any issue and fix it. We also have security. Blockchain technology is extremely secure. Each individual entering in the blockchain network is provided with a unique identity linked to his personal account. Finally, we have faster processing, and this by removing human involvement in verification that can take some time. Before, the overall banking process takes around 3 business days to settle. Now the time is reduced to nearly minutes or even seconds. So what are the disadvantages of blockchain? First, we have the cost. Some studies have shown that the average cost of Bitcoin transaction is between $75 and $160. And the other factor is storage issue. Then we have an uncertain regulatory status in each part of the world. Money has been created and controlled by the central government. It becomes a hurdle for cryptocurrency, for instance Bitcoin, to get accepted by the pre-existing financial institutions. Finally, the power use. Blockchain requires the consumption of high level of energy. In a particular year, Bitcoin miners alone consumed more than the power consumed by 159 individual countries. So why is blockchain important? These following features will show the importance of blockchain. First, blockchain is immutable and does not change. There are a lot of platforms that need immutable traits. For instance, in supply chain, immutability enables companies to ensure that there is no damage done to the package. As blockchain is immutable, the package info won't be altered or changed in any way. Any change will alarm the system. Then we have transparency. Public blockchain provide transparency due to its nature. Company can absolutize it to make sure that the end user can interact with the process with full or partial transparency. Besides, there is decentralization, since it's the backbone of the futuristic world. It will give people unprecedented access to the options that are currently not available in the market. Also, blockchain uses cryptography to add a layer of security to the data stored on the network. Lastly, blockchain is inexpensive when compared to other technologies. The removal of centralization removes the middleman, therefore it improves cost efficiency. So what are the 51% attacks? 51% attacks refer to an attack on a blockchain, most commonly Bitcoin. The attack is usually done by a group of miners controlling more than 50% of the network's mining hash rate or computing power. The attacks would be able to prevent new transactions from gaining confirmations, allowing them to stop payment between some or all users. They can also reverse transactions that were completed while they were in control of the network. Therefore, they could double spend coins. Of course, cryptocurrencies are backed by a goal. It creates easier and faster local and global financial transactions. It eliminates the middleman, like in real estate, supply chain, bank, and other third-party service providers charging outrageous fees. It also enables the people to become their own banks and providing them the freedom to use their money. It battles the inflation arising due to the politically based flat currency. And finally, cryptocurrency is almost impossible to forge. Now let's talk about forks. As we previously saw, blockchain as a decentralized network relies on consensus for operations. Nodes in the network have to be in agreement for any process to occur. For example, the verification process in the network demands consensus. Sometimes disagreements happen. Such disagreements lead to something known as blockchain fork. There are two types of forks, a hard fork and a soft fork. For the hard fork, it is a software upgrade that is backward incompatible. This means new nodes can only communicate with the others that operate the new version. It results in two separate networks. There is one with the old rules and another with the new rules. On the other hand, we have the soft fork, which is a software upgrade that is backward compatible with previous versions of the software. This means upgrades nodes can still communicate with non-upgraded nodes. It allows all participants to operate on the network. People using the old version can still make a transaction but would not be able to enjoy the features of the functionalities of the new version. The ethical issues and concerns of cryptocurrency. The development and application of blockchain technologies gives rise to two major ethical issues to do with meeting expectations in terms of security, privacy, efficiency, and the integrity of the system, and also the need to avoid the unintended facilitation of unethical conduct such as crime and oppressive conduct that would otherwise be offset by a mediating institution. Neither issue is unique to blockchain, and neither is likely to be fatal to its application. However, both involve considerable risk if not anticipated and proactively addressed. And finally, let's see how can engineers improve the use of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin and blockchain consume a huge amount of energy. Engineers are trying to come up with solutions to change that. Innovators from top institutions such as MIT and Cornell University, and also tech titans as IBM and Intel, are developing a number of green blockchain innovations to address demand by businesses. Energy efficiency allows blockchain to scale for business needs, meaning it can process significantly more transactions per second at minimal cost, while accommodating an ever-expanding user base. The potential reward has stimulated a race to develop the winning blockchain solutions for companies and organizations. Engineers and researchers who come up with the winning algorithm will have a substantial portion of the many billions of dollars that go into back-end systems.
Hello, my name is Mo Win, computer science student. Everything has a pro and con, and challenges and opportunity. In cryptocurrency, we have four main challenges: government regulation, SUR inheritance, security risks, market risks, volatility. The government put in a lot of regulation on the cryptocurrency. The main reason is they want to control the transition, the no more freedom, and put to the boundary. US Treasury called for the very strict cryptocurrency. They comply with the IRS. It is a new tax regulation. If transport walk like over 10,000, they're gonna be reported to the IRS. US Treasury says cryptocurrency is illegal broadly, including tax evasion. It was on May 7. It's directly affected the cryptocurrency. And May 7, to the current, within the less than a month, the Bitcoin is going down more than 25%. Here are the proof. In the May 7, 2021, the Bitcoin is priced like over 59,000. And when I was last time check it out, it's going down to the over 38,000. And the Azure inheritance. And the cryptocurrency is a decentralized, distributed network, had no central authority to control user fund. It also offers freedom, a lot of freedom, but crypto owner is pass away or something happen, who can be inherited? And the one's a true story. It was happened in 2018. 26-year-old young man. He was the early miner of the Bitcoin. The died in the plane crash. His father knew his son owned the cryptocurrency, but could not accept the fund. He don't know the how many, and he don't know the private key, so it's gonna be lost forever. So my advice, if you own the cryptocurrency, list a digital wallet cryptocurrency in your wallet. So if something happen, your loved one or somebody gonna be take over. Security risks. Due to the highly secure the nature of transaction, purchasing cannot be traced. Cryptocurrency use cryptography technology to keep transaction secure. So that means the individual can use cryptocurrency to purchase like illegal or highly regulated merchandise, including the certain classes of drug or firearm. U.S. Department of Justice reviews a growing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is national security threat. They said like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is used by the terrorists and the cyber criminal that range from the money laundering and the tax evasion. In the investigator side of view, the cryptocurrency could be detrimental of the safety and stability of the international financial system. Market risks. Every market has a risk. The risk of trading in currency are mainly related to very volatility and expected change. It can happen really up and down. And there is not an increment for the value for the cryptocurrency to quickly drop by the hundred and thousand of dollars. In trading war, the safe haven is a type of investment that is expected to retain or increase in value during time of market turbulence. Investors seek out safe in haven in order to limit their exposure to lose in the event of market downrun. I would say cryptocurrency is a safe haven because lack of coordination and clarity of the regulatory, financial, tax, and legal treatment. If we compare with the forex, both of the involved buying and selling currency, one in the digital, one the currency. However, the forex market is large and well established, while the crypto market is relatively a new player in this field. But one thing is really different. The forex involved in middlemen, the broker, and various other institutions. They usually collect fees and almost every step of the trading process. In the opportunity, we are engineer. There's a lot of opportunity in cryptocurrency. Like my teammate Carlos said, we can do like new cryptocurrency startup, improve hardware for better energy for the mining, the blockchain security, application security, and the cloud-based solution, and UI UX design, or implementing blockchain technology to other fields. In this presentation, we focus on the new cryptocurrency startup. Its benefit is there's a peer-to-peer focus, elimination of the banking fee, and the good thing is a very low transaction fees for international payment, the mobile payment, and the widely accessible. So, question is, can we create cryptocurrency? The answer is yes. There is a home cryptocurrency walk, so take a look for a second. And over here, at the start with the blockchain participant, they create the transition and broadcast to the peer-to-peer network. Validate the transition. After the free transition, they create the node. And the final step, blockchain participant who allocated processing power to validate their transition receive the reward. Now I would like to introduce with our prototype, the Nine-Coin. We call it Nine-Coin. Why is Nine-Coin? Because we include 9. So programming language, we use Python, and ran in the Colab. Here it is. We use the hash library and the time library. Because the hash library is the hashing message going to be easily transported node by node and generate with the very accurate format. In this presentation, I not cover for the line by line explanation, but I'm gonna run the program and show the output. In this prototype, this one not connected with any other network computer. This one is run from the itself. It is generate from the hash table. This is the last time I check it out, and I'm gonna run right here. So output right here. There's a time, and they came out with the 64-digit number, the accurate format. So who's gonna be received? Of course, it's me, Mo Win. Yeah, as a wise man said, it's a treat yourself first. So I give myself first. So right here, and then I'm gonna just run it again. See right here, last 4-digit 456A, and I'm gonna run it again. They came up with the different upgraded number 2E70. So every transition, every node by node, they come up with a different accurate number. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Now, to wrap up this presentation, we would like to ask you some questions. Can you name at least 2 things that give cryptocurrency value? What is the difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet? What is a 51% attack? What is a hard fork? Can you name one challenge posed by cryptocurrency? These are the resources Joseph used. These are the resources Maxim used. These are the resources John Carlos used. These are the resources Layla used. These are the resources Mo used. For this project, we conducted our group work through Microsoft Teams. Under the Post tab, we used it as a file share and announcement board. We did group calls within this application. Inside of the File tab, we shared our slides and our recordings. For the last tab, we used Task by Planner and To Do. This allowed us to easily visualize what was due and when. The first thing that was due was slides by Friday, June 4th. Then videos of the recordings by Saturday, June 5th. And lastly, we are tasked with reviewing these slides and getting ready for submission. This is our team, and thank you for your attention.